Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matidi. So thank you for being here. I'm realizing that these days I'm garnering a bit more followers, and I really want to make it a formal thing so that I can appreciate that, because previously this channel was just sort of an audio outlet. Like I'll set up my camera and then I'll just speak into the space, because I don't know what world everybody else lives on, but this world is fascinating to me. One of the topics that we're going to be dealing into today is women, right? It's crazy. I'm a woman, and it's something that I have to deal with on a daily basis, and I feel like every other person has to do the exact same thing. Being a woman, you will always appear as a woman. I'm speaking for myself now. I will always appear as a woman, and I'll always present as a woman. I will have features that normally and historically have presented what a woman is, physically. And then it goes a bit deeper with the kind of space we're currently existing in, with men having an idea of what women should be and how they should be. You are also questioned internally to find ways in which you can fit with what already exists of what a woman is. We have people like Pearl, we have Andrew Tates, we have the many other misogyny white guys, the usually white guys, or a black guy with some very interesting haircut that just always has, or bald, yeah, that always has something to say about a woman, or what he's wanting from a woman and what a woman should be. And normally those things are: a virgin, doesn't go out, praises him, and is willing to become whatever is needed from her, good parent, childbearer, those kind of things, depending on the man. And those ideas are not just new. They're not coming with these men that are now, not men and women that are now speaking on the modern woman in a way that puts her down. It comes from a long time ago. It's a past thing. It's a thing that came. So when we're talking about women and men, I want to heavily differentiate on how, let me speak on Southern African women were treated in ancient times. Because if you come into Southern Africa, you understand a different culture. There's a sort of unity between the countries that are in the southern country, and that's because we share the same history. We fought for the same land. We fought each other. We decided certain things were supposed to be in this type of way. I'm gonna speak on the Southern African women, as a Southern African woman. But we are heavily influenced by American culture and what it brings and what it means for us, and what we tend to adapt to and normalize in our everyday lives. Women in historic and Southern Africa were praised for their being. They were acknowledged spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, because they were emotionally intelligent. And women are. You would go to your gogo, our aunt, our dala, and you would pay your respects, and you would get knowledge from them. The kings would come, the women would come, they would help each other give birth. Can always look at this time in the past in the rosy glasses that romanticizes everything, because it only looks at the positive, nothing else except for the positive. So you need to keep that in mind. It's a time that we cannot go back to. It's a time that we cannot hear so much of. At least generally, you have to go deep. You have to search and dig a little bit before you find that information, because it's something people are not aware of and therefore not interested in. So you can't make someone interested in something they're not aware it even exists. So you need to look deeper. That each culture had its own women, its own understanding of what woman is and how it worked and how it operated and how it brought itself together. Of course, outside of Africa, there were other communities, other countries, other lands, other kings, other queens, other people that needed to see more. And sadly enough, when the Western world, in the sense, not just in Africa, like measuring small, but in the Western world, as in the whole entire earth, it decided to explore outside of its own territory, because it had conquered what it needed to conquer in that space, including women. So it needed to go out. They needed to go out and conquer new lands, conquer new women. That it included everybody but itself, because it was patriarchy. Patriarchy came and it took the women. It got the men to kneel down and he took the women, and hence why it tends to seem like when men are down, women can be vulnerable. I can see why there's that need of men to constantly want to provide and protect, and when they don't see that, they will get to that point. I am moving too fast. So patriarchy came with its own method of how women should be treated and how men should react towards women, and men that saw it fit for them, of course, took on that system, and the men that didn't see anything to do with it, they had to follow on, because those who got closer to patriarchy came closer to the power that be the West, that controlled literally the whole entire world. It had taken everything. So now you have to oblige or become this person who stands out. And again, what patriarchy came with was the understanding, the proper research in understanding that we are creatures that are social. We will follow a group and we will understand that we would want to follow the leader of whoever that group is. Whoever is influencing us the most, whoever we're looking up to the most, is the person that is likely to tell us to become something that we are not willing to become. Patriarchy was the leader. So it set an example, it set a standard, and every man adapted to that standard, and it benefited to the men. It switched the roles, I would say, in the Southern African. Men saw it fit for them because of the way things change. I feel like in the Southern Africa, right? There wasn't much of a community anymore. It wasn't a communal decision that we got to make, where you went to the center, you talked to the village people, and you came to a decision regarding your family matters. The man had to lead his own. He did not look outward. You did not get any external advice. It was that you had to already know what it is that your family needs, your woman needs, your children need, so that you can guide them. If you don't know, you're not man enough, and you need to work on that. And it as much as it gave that feeling of power to the man, of being able to lead, it also made the men feel so much pressure that it just eats. And then we have the men that we have today. Patriarchy, there's hierarchy, right? There's the white man, who is the pinnacle, he is the standard setter, he is the blueprint, and there's the other men, the every other man. That every other man includes Hispanic, white, black, Chinese, let me just say Asian, any person else, anyone else who isn't white, they fall under the other man, the every other man. But he benefits. He doesn't benefit as much as the high man, but he benefits from the system. The system hurts him heavily, and as things are going in terms of changing, it's even hurting. It seems to be hurting the big man himself. Who is it really benefiting? The system? It's not benefiting anyone, but someone is saying, as long as you are not at the top, I'm at the top. I don't care what kind of a pen I'm in. That's what I feel like patriarchy is currently coming into, or appearing to myself to be. It's like, oh wow, you're willing to literally sacrifice everything just to keep that idea of being a man, a provider, head of the family, leader, being in that's patriarchy. The fact that you are unable to talk about your feelings, how you are feeling, how you are doing, how things are stressing you, you're asking for help, being vulnerable, and understanding that in this modern time there is a woman who is allowed to work, and you guys can collaborate and make something work for you. Again, I'm speaking as a woman. I do not know what it is to be a man, and I can never understand, right? Just like as a man can never understand how it is to be a woman, but he can speak on my on his interactions with me. So can I speak on my interactions with him, because we're learning something from each other. I'm realizing that there is a lot of misunderstanding, because why do I need to take a moment to remind you that no, I'm speaking sense even though I'm a woman? And because what patriarchy brought, it got women to oblige. They took on, they understood, because it brought God as well, the word of God. It brought the word of God. The fear of God can really humble a man. I'm not gonna lie, you better give in, otherwise. So the form of patriarchy, it created a different kind of woman. I wrote those down here. The housewife, which is the traditional wife, mother, childbearer. She's a dog. She's God-fearing. She cooks, she cleans, she does all that kind of stuff. And we have the black woman who is angry, who is ugly, who is a sexual object. And for that, I'm thinking of how black women are being treated, or being treated by the masculine. in the Southern Africa, like in South Africa more specifically, the more deaths that are coming up, the very dynamic relationship between men and women in this country is really interesting, and it is the most painful thing to watch because it ends with death. It becomes hard to look at and try to analyze it because it's just so close to home. It's like, oh my god, what if I understand and the fear is just standing right in my face? The sexual object, the tough one, the animalistic, she's fetishized, and I'm thinking of Sarah Batman. She's that girl. You can't hurt her. And then we have the white woman. Oh my god. And by the way, none of these have a race type of thing. The black girl, the black woman could be a white woman being treated like a black woman in her own community. The name itself doesn't describe the object that should be in there, but it describes the feeling that is normally understood, that is understood by a lot of people. So white woman being the clean, soft spoken, the skinny, blonde, blue eyes, she's the rich, she's wealthy, like old money type of shit. She's kind and she's very loved. She's the woman to be. And then we have the modern woman. The current woman, which I love because she's a mixture of many things. With how she's being depicted at the moment, she hates men, she likes BBL, she wants only rich men, she doesn't want to do much, but she also works too much. She is too dependent. She's just independent. She's that just financially free that she's so hard to control. She's very expressive. She tells you that she does not like it and she will change. She will want you to change it immediately. And to a man that doesn't grow, that seems like a loss of femininity. Like, oh my god, we're losing women. No, we don't know what women look like outside of patriarchy. We don't know what men look like outside of patriarchy. And women will continue to push on, try to figure that out. And I hope that men are doing the same thing as well, like in a progressive manner, not in a way that says, I'm going to let go of my beliefs and adapt to women's beliefs because they're being hurt more right now. Your masculinity is what is missing in the midst of pain. So you need to grow into the man that you need to become, to do the things you feel that needs to happen in this world, to find the woman that needs to commit to you the way that you feel like you need someone to commit to you in, right? You can't want women to submit to you and have nothing to be submitted. Like, what am I submitting? A body. No, man. If you are seeking a woman who is submissive in that nature, a woman who gives you whatever it is that you want, a woman that cooks for you, be the man that a woman would want to cook for. Don't just want demands. Be the thing, because those things that you're requesting are things that happen naturally. Women are like, no, you've used money, you've used children, you've used sex, you've used your physical power to literally take me down. I'm just saying I'm tired. I just want to provide it for myself. I'm not saying step back and don't try to approach me as a woman and you as a man. I'm just simply saying I'm just gonna secure myself first, because I have a line of women, of mothers and grandmothers who are like, oh my child, in daughter, a man who will leave you dry. So why would I? All that advice, it's written these days, that what happened, what women did and what women fought for, what women were, what women went through and were ignored in, especially in science, in books, in literature, in literally invention. And you're just like, wow, the modern woman today is really hated. You have Andrew Tate, you have all those people that are just, I think sometimes Andrew Tate speaks truth, but it just becomes misunderstood because as the woman is speaking, she's speaking from her experience, he's speaking from his experience. That's his truth, that's her truth. The thing is, they're not willing to understand each other. Like, oh, okay, perhaps this is how I relate, perhaps in your truth I just matched that small part, and then the rest is not about me. Perhaps you've met different people that have gave you that expression, and I cannot defend for them because I don't know them. That's what needs to happen. As a modern woman, I'm really questioning, and I'm just realizing the ideal woman is a housewife, a black woman, a white woman, and a modern woman all in one. Go understand what housewives were, pick what you like from that, understand what black women are, pick what you like from that, what women are, what white women are, and pick from that, and what modern women are, and pick from that, and combine, and just be your own, I would say, The modern woman is the three things combined, right? Then you become your own modern woman. You become the woman that works for you. If you feel that sometimes you need to be sensitive and allow yourself to give yourself to a man and provide, not provide, but be that nurturing woman, be the caring one, to be gentle and guide him and sort of disturbing but very true, be motherly to your partner and just care for them. Do that, because women are just natural. And if Andrew Tate is telling me what men think of when they look at me when I'm wearing certain things, I am not going to argue with Andrew Tate. I'm just like, you are a man. I've seen the gaze of men, and what you're speaking about makes sense, because I would never look at something in a normal way, in the same way that he looked at me. I cannot be like, no, he's lying, he's a sexist, he just doesn't. I don't know. I'm the victim. I'm the hunted one. I see the male gaze. I see the way men feel comfortable talking to women. Not talking as in like, hey, how's the weather? Yeah, no, just in like, yo, what's up? And you're just like, wow, why are you so comfortable talking to a stranger? Didn't your parents teach you? You're the problem. You are the stranger that strangers are supposed to be afraid of. You are the problem. So the relationship between men should be really discussed between a man and a woman. I don't think as the world can be there while you and your woman are looking at each other and talking. But until then, men need to take upon themselves that some of the other men out here are out here terrorizing women. We are raised to see each other as competition. We are competing for men. That's the main thing. You need to learn to cook, to clean, to have sex well, to bear children and be beautiful and be a woman, soft, elegant. When you are seeing someone else portraying those skills in a perfect manner that you do, especially the one that's most prevalent, beauty, it's for the men. It's for men attention, it's for male gaze, for male understanding, for men. It's for men. That's what we are taught to do. We are taught to put the needs of a man above all else. What he needs, his food, his care, his love, his attention, his way of kissing you, his hellos, his goodbyes, his good nights. Every single thing needs to be targeted right there. And anything that is targeted elsewhere, and all these misogynistic men that are talking about, this is what God thinks of when he sees you, when you go and get your baby, this is what, he's not lying to you. This is what he thinks. This is what he sees when he sees you. He looks at you, you say a word, and he's like, men are imaginative creatures. They can just stand there and stare at you. They're imagining shit. The reality of things is that this man did build this world. And with them having built this world, they understand the workings of this world, because they are most physically stronger. So if they're telling you, when you are walking and you're dressed like this is what, I am so sorry for the sound, but the swimming pool must be cleaned. There's always going to be that misunderstanding. So you as a person, no matter what gender, whatever way you identify yourself, there are things that you need to take extra care of. Because you are supposed to be a kind-hearted, loving person, expressive and nice and never hurt a fly, doesn't mean the world won't do the opposite to you. A good person gets nothing. If you don't take good care of yourself because you think you're a good person, so take extra care of yourself. Be more cautious, watch more, keep your eyes open, listen, understand, put yourself in other people's shoes, be curious, ask questions, create bonds that are not driven by sex or jealousy or envy or mimicking. Genuine relationships. I really appreciate you watching and staying this long as video. Subscribe, like, interact with it. Thank you so much.